Brooksaw Antiques here. Today we have this 1972 Olivetti Lettera 32 vintage portable typewriter. I'm going to show you how to use the functions and make sure they all work. On top of the margins, I'm going to set this one around 0 and this one around 75. It's about the length of a page. And it has a paper support arm that flips up from the back like this. This is the paper bail that sits on top, holds the page down. It's got 2 rollers and a scale on it. Once you hear the bell, you're at the end of the margin. You hit this line space, keep it back at the beginning. It skips 1, 2, or 3 spaces. Right now we have it on single, but if you want double, you just flip that switch down. When it skips 2, one more, it skips 3. I'm going to keep that on single for now and finish typing. As you can see, all the keys type nice and none of them skip or stick. I'll type a sentence in red on the next line. Switch from black to red. There's a switch on the right side here. Flip that all the way down. It prints the bottom portion of the ribbon. Beautiful typing machine. This is probably the most modern style typewriter that you'll find that kind of mimics a computer keyboard. Just has a really smooth keyboard on it, probably the best I've ever had, and I've been doing this for 6 years. So I highly recommend this if you're looking for something more modern and very reliable. Anything you buy brand new is going to be made from China, so you can't really rely on that. To pull the page out easy, there's a switch on the right side. Just flip that forward and it unlocks the rollers underneath the plat, allowing you to pull the page out easy or load thicker paper like carbon copy or cardstock. Make sure you flip that back before you load the next page or else it won't load correctly. And put this back up to the top portion, which prints the top portion of the ribbon. If you have it in the middle, it doesn't print any ink. It just leaves a stencil for copying purposes. I don't know anything about it, but I guess that was used at some point so you don't waste any ink. The tab function is on the right side. It's the red button there. So you hit that, stops at any tab set. Right now we have one in the middle. If you want to clear that, you just push this switch down on the left side here. Now we don't have any, and I'm holding this because you can cause wear and tear on your typewriter if you push the tab button and it goes slamming all the way to the end. So I'm going to set one by pushing this lever up in the middle, so that way next time the tab button gets pressed, it just stops at that spot in the middle. Backspace on the top right of the keyboard, that works good. Then I'll pop the hood open, and this just pops up from the front, and it's got a spring that it locks into and 2 latches, one on each side of the back. All the brand new ribbon is loaded on this left side, so it's pulling to the right, and it's got these little screw tops, so that helps keep the ribbon down. If you don't have these screw tops, then the ribbon will not be, it'll just lay without turning. So you need to have these to get this to operate this correctly. And you can use any universal ribbons that fit in this as long as you have those inserts. To switch the direction, behind the spool is a little holder that holds the ribbon in place. You just move it in the opposite direction and it'll pull to the opposite direction. And this is out of thread, so I'm going to re-thread that real quick into that little holder, if I can see. And that just helps guide the ribbon. Basically, it's a ribbon guide. It just helps guide the ribbon straight so it doesn't bounce around when it's pulling to the opposite direction. And it also has a ribbon reverse control, so once one side gets used up, it'll start pulling to the opposite side. Just like that. So we're going to keep that the way it is. And to put this hood back on, it latches from the back first. So you put the back on first, and then it pops right down from the front. On the right side here, we have you flip this little switch up where my thumb is, and you move the carriage to the middle. So you flip it down, it'll lock the carriage in the middle. So when you have it in the case, it protects the carriage. You flip it up, then you have a free carriage here. We're going to switch this down for now. And carriage release on each side. Very smooth. It's got that luxurious feel to it. And the handle flips back and forth, so when you have it in the case, it tucks in like that. And when you have it out, you can use it, so that gives you some leverage. And if you flip this switch all the way back to 0, it'll disable the spacing altogether, so you can get to an exact spot on the page. When you flip it to the 1, it gives you those clicks. Each one of those clicks is a half a space on this model, and the same concept when you push in the button here. So it's push in the button and turn the knob, it disables the spacing. And that's it. Now available on eBay or Etsy. Search Brooksaw Antiques.